Hi there, my name is Mike Smith. I'm the owner of GMH, Get More Hair, safe, affordable hair transplants for everyone. And this is our first official YouTube video. So thank you very much for watching. Please, as they say on YouTube, like, share and subscribe. We would be very, very grateful. Okay, so what are we going to talk about in our very first YouTube video? Well, it's going to be a general introduction into hair transplants, more specifically FUE hair transplantation. So let's start at the beginning. What is an FUE hair transplant and what does FUE stand for? So FUE stands for follicular unit extraction, and it does really what it says on the tin. They extract the whole hair follicle, so the whole follicular unit they extract from the nape area. Now the nape area is the area above your ears around the back of your head. It's what they consider to be the most permanent zone, or quote unquote the safe zone. This is an area where the hair follicles are genetically coded differently to the hair on top of your head, which is subject to male pattern baldness, as many of you will know. So you're watching this video because you're considering a hair transplant, and I'm guessing a lot of you guys are suffering from male pattern baldness, and really it's a wicked thing, right? It's not nice. It's not something that you've asked for. You haven't contributed to it, and it just happens to guys. Okay, so a hair transplant is realistically the only solution that is going to put more hair on the top of your head. And as many of you will know, I have had 2 hair transplants, very, very successful, with the fantastic Dr. Akar at Cosmetica. Now, we are the official partners. I'm extremely proud to say that we are the official UK partners of Dr. Akar and Cosmetica. So what does my company do? Well, we deal with all of the bookings, we deal with all of the assessments, we answer all of the questions, we do the aftercare, we offer you the support, and we basically follow your journey from the start to the finish. So we are your support guys. That's what we do, and we do it fantastically well, and I'm very proud to offer this service to you, and I'm extremely proud, as I said, to be working with the wonderful Dr. Akar and Cosmetica. Okay, so we know what FUE stands for. What actually happens on the day? What happens when you have the surgery on the day? So what will happen is the hair follicles will be taken out of the nape area of your head, as we said. Okay, so they'll take them out individually, one by one. They will then separate them, okay, into the singles, the doubles and the multiples. They'll take the singles and they'll separate the softest single hairs from the thicker single hairs, and then they will open hair channels in the top of your head where you need hair. So the doctor will come in, or a senior member of staff, one of our senior nurses will come in, and they will use a sapphire tip blade, and they will make tiny little incisions in your head, thousands and thousands of incisions. Once these hair channels have been opened, they will then re-implant all of the healthy hair follicles into your head, and as we said, using the soft single hairs at the front and building up the density as they go back to create the illusion of density, to make it look as natural as possible and to make it look like you've got as much hair on your head as possible, which is really the name of the game. So talking about hair on the top of your head, I want to quickly touch on hairlines. Okay, we see a lot of hairlines in this industry from a lot of different clinics, and obviously in the hair transplant community. And what I will say to you is this: the modern way of having a hair transplant is to have a very natural looking hairline. Okay, something that suits your face, something that's perhaps age appropriate. Guys that want a very straight hairline or a very, very low hairline, this is going to look incredibly unnatural, and we would discourage you from doing this, and we would aim to give you as natural a hairline as we possibly can, so that no one will know that you've had a hair transplant, because that's the name of the game, right? Okay, so how long does it take? How long does the surgery take? Typically, we tell guys surgery takes approximately 6 to 9 hours. It's a long day at the office is what I tell guys. You do have a break in the middle, we break for lunch, and you are given Xanax before surgery. So you will find that the first part of the day will go very, very quickly, and then you'll have lunch, and then we'll have the second part of the day, and this is where you can, put your in-ear buds, listen to music, watch a film, and just basically bide your time while your hair transplant is being completed. Next question we get asked a lot is it painful? Is a hair transplant painful? Okay, so I've had two, as I've spoke about, and I would say that the most painful part of the hair transplant is when they are administering the anaesthetic. Okay, putting needles into your head, you haven't got hardly any fat in your scalp, and so them needles are going in, and it is very spicy. I will say that it's quite spicy. However, we do offer needle-free anaesthetic, which is up to 70% less painful, and it's a different way of administering the anaesthetic. It's in the Plus package, and we would certainly recommend that you check that out, especially if your pain threshold is not that fantastic. Like I said, it's not going to kill you. You're not going to have post-traumatic stress after you've had a hair transplant, but it will be a tough day at the office with traditional needles, and I think that's a universally recognised fact. Does a hair transplant leave any scarring? So yes and no. If you have an FUE hair transplant, which we don't offer, then yes, it will leave a very large lineal scar, and depending on the skill of the surgeon and the clinic, will depend on how big and how neat that scar is. We perform FUE, as I said, follicular unit extraction, where we're taking the hair follicles individually one by one out of the head. And although this will leave a tiny little scar, you won't be able to see it with the naked eye. Okay, you will be able to recognise that you've had a hair transplant in some cases if you're having a high graft number, because what you'll have is tiny little gaps in between your original hair, because where they take the hair follicles from, they will not grow back. Your body will not produce any more hair follicles, and that's a very important fact for you to consider before you look at having a hair transplant. However, if it's done correctly, you shouldn't notice it too much. And like I said, I've had a high graft number taken out of my head, and I've kept my hair quite short in this haircut, and I'm very happy with how it looks. Okay, so moving swiftly on, how long does it take for the results to come through? Well, let's be honest about it. Some guys get early results, some guys, their results takes a while, but in general, we say it takes between 10 and 12 months for a full and final result on the front, and then up to 18 months for a result on the crown. It's very important to be patient with the crown area. How long will you need to take off of work? A lot of guys ask us. We would recommend at least 1 week off of work. Okay, if you can have 2 weeks or 10 days, this would be a lot better, but 1 week will be enough for you to recover. And finally, the number one question we get asked is it permanent? Is a hair transplant permanent? Well, I'm pleased to say yes, it's permanent. Once the hair follicles have taken into your head, okay, they will grow indefinitely, and you can grow your hair as long as you want and have it as luscious as you want. After a period of time, you can use products, you can dye your hair, you can do everything you want to do, and just enjoy that investment that you've made in yourself. Enjoy your hair. Well, I hope you found this video useful. Please keep your eyes open, because we're going to be making many more videos and touching on many different subjects in more details. But for now, this is me, Mike Smith, from GMH Studios, saying a massive thank you for watching this video. Please like, share and subscribe, and of course, get more hair.